Hi guys, we are on the verge of cross country season starting, and so I thought I would post a couple of videos as we head into August to try to help you stay injury free, running faster, and feeling great for your entire season. Cross country is wildly different than any other fall sport because of the unlevel surface demand. You guys are running on gravel, hills, grass, trails, up, down, in, out, and in a pack, having to navigate your body moving and somebody else's body moving into you. That scenario demands a lot of soft tissue mobility, joint mobility, and single leg strength. So we want to make sure we're working on those things as we start to head into the season. And then there's things we can do throughout the season to help maintain that so that we can stay healthy and performing our best by the time we get to state. This is also true for our adult runners, and maybe even more so. If you look at what causes injury, your body adapts to whatever position you put it in the most. So we add the demands of cross country season to a change in temperature. It's going to be super hot. We're dehydrated, and we're going back to school. So I'm going to sit in a desk all day long and adapt that position, and then I'm going to get up and go run on a bunch of unlevel surfaces. This is true as adults. We're at work all day. We are trapped in that position for 8 to 10 hours. And then you get up and you go run. If you have not prepared your body for that position, you're going to end up in big trouble. So cross-country athletes, adult athletes, being ready and helping your body adapt to the demands of cross-country and that unlevel surface is huge in staying healthy and performing really well. So the first thing I want to talk about is single leg strength. It is really important that all the little bones in my foot, all the little joints in my heel, my foot, my ankle, my hip, all those things can function together. When they all function together, good things happen. When somebody decides to not do their job, we end up injured, our running form suffers, or we have an overuse situation where I'm using the wrong muscle group and I'm going to end up super sore. So if we look at single leg, here is my foot, okay? This is the outside of my foot, this is my inside of my foot. When I am running, squatting, jumping, you name it, what happens is my foot collapses and I pronate, so the back half goes one way, the front half goes the other way. There has to be enough mobility at this joint, there has to be enough mobility at your ankle, and there has to be enough strength in the muscles that handle all that to keep you from getting injured. Now we have to multiply that times however long you're going to run. So if you look at research studies, depending on what you read, 7 to 10 times your body weight hits each foot when you land as I'm running. Woo! That's a lot of weight when I weigh 200 pounds. So now multiply that on how many steps do I take in a mile, how many miles am I running, and add the surface. Soft surfaces are not better for your feet. We all assume, oh, you're running on grass, that's absorbing shock. Oh, we're running on the turf, oh, that's absorbing shock. Absolutely not. What that grass, hill, gravel, unlevel surface is doing is it is creating more pronation or a greater length of rotation out of that joint. So instead of going through this much range of motion, we're now going through this much range of motion. So again, if you don't have the joint mobility, soft tissue mobility, or strength to manage that position, you're going to end up hurt, or you're not going to have good function. Okay, good function means when I load this perfectly, the backside rotates in, the front side rotates out, my shin rotates, my femur rotates, that turns on my butt. So your butt muscle, if you have ever hung around me in clinic, is the most important muscle in sport. If I turn on my butt, I am a superior athlete. My endurance is better, my balance is better, my explosion is better. All things are more awesome. In running, this is true. Okay, this is going to help with my stride length. This is going to help drive me up a hill. This is going to help with my balance when my foot's landing on the grass and another runner is jockeying for a position. I need my hip. I can't get to my hip without my foot. So when we look at warm-ups, when we look at ways to train, barefoot can be a really, really good way to do that for you. You just have to be careful and smart. Years ago, barefoot running got super popular, which was great because it was good for business for me. Because what happened is I ended up with a truckload of stress fractures and a ton of shin splints and a lot of plantar fasciitis. Single leg is good for us. Barefoot is good for us, but in small doses that our bodies can manage. When you go whole hog and you're going to go run barefoot, or I'm going to do a lot of stuff barefoot, you have to remember that since you were little, someone put you in shoes. And so that shoe, especially running shoes, work very hard to help put your foot in the world's best position. When they put your foot in the world's best position, the muscle, the joint, all those things don't have to work through such a great range of motion. If you don't use it, you lose it. So if I have not gone through all of that great range of motion, if I have not had to turn my muscle on at the end of pronation, I don't know how to do it. So when I don't know how to do it, my whole body tightens up, my whole body freaks out, the surfaces get stiffer, the tissue gets more aggravated, and I end up with something going wrong. Okay, plantar fasciitis, knee pain, IT band syndrome, something in the chain will say, nope, this is enough, I can't handle it. So let's back up and let's do small doses of barefoot. Now, the important part to understand is none of this should hurt. It can feel like work, but it should not hurt. Me being barefoot, just being barefoot is great for you. Barefoot in a slipper is good for you. If you're somebody who doesn't have much for the way of fat pad on your feet anymore, like walking around your house, we don't want it to be uncomfortable to be on the surface. So you can be in slippers, you can be on the carpet, you can be on a Air-X mat. We can be soft. The softer or thicker the surface, the more we're asking out of your foot. So be careful and understand flatter is better when we're just learning, and then we can advance from there. So if I am going to work on my single leg strength for running and cross country, I can do something as mundane as standing on one foot when I brush my teeth. So if I spend time on one leg, okay, on one leg, now my big toe and my ankle is having to work and balance as I talk. Now, if you look at me, my hips are even. If you are standing on one leg and you're having to hike up a bunch, or you're standing on one leg and you're collapsing huge into this hip, that tells me you have a weak butt. And so you are at higher risk for trochanteric bursitis, plantar fasciitis, a stress fracture. So do not go crazy if you can't maintain that position. So if single leg is too hard, I can stand one foot in front of the other foot. So while I'm cooking supper, while I'm cutting vegetables, while I'm shaving, while I'm brushing my teeth, one foot in front of the other, make sure you switch and do it the other way, or I can do all things on one foot. Okay, so that's the easiest. Now we're going to advance it a little bit. If I am a cross-country athlete, I would like to see you barefoot once or twice a day. For sure, this would be a fabulous warm-up for you prior to a race, in that I want to be able to control all the motions my foot is going to go through in a race or while I'm training. So when I run, my body goes forward and back. My body goes side to side as I'm managing hills and unlevel surfaces. And my subtalar joint on my ankle rotates every time I pronate and collapse. So those three motions, three planes of motions, I have to be able to manage. So while I can, again, multitask. I can do it while I brush my teeth. I can do it while I do a lot of things. Or it can be strictly part of your exercise, in that I'm going to stand on one foot. I'm going to reach as far forward as I can. See, I'm not great. As far back as I can, as far forward as I can, as far back as I can. What we're looking for is motion and muscle activity out of your foot, and you not falling. There will be a difference in right side compared to left side. Okay, so my left side, I have a history of an ACL tear on that side, so I am not awesome. I also broke my foot a couple of years ago and it didn't heal super great. So reaching forward and back and not falling over. So you may have to reach shorter on one foot than the other foot. Okay, so I'm gonna do single leg reaches forward and back. You can bend your knee a little bit. Then we're gonna do, I'm gonna switch to my right so I don't look so bad. Then we're gonna do side to side. So I'm gonna reach across, come out, reach across, come out, reach across, come out, reach across, come out. When you reach across, what that's doing is creating pronation. So the collapse that my foot has when I land on an unlevel surface, when I squat, when I load to jump, reaching my foot across creates that reaction in a controlled fashion. So I'm single leg reach across as far as I can, as far as I can, as far as I can. The nice thing about that is as I reach, it's loading my hip. Okay, it's also loading my hip in the same functional way that it loads when I run. So I love functional training. Why would I waste my time doing a bunch of exercises that aren't going to turn into better performance in my sport? So reaching across is a functional hip load, a functional belly load, a functional ankle load for running. I can do this getting ready in the morning as I brush my teeth and become a better runner. The last direction we have is rotation. This one's the hardest. You have to be careful. I don't want it to hurt your hip. I don't want it to hurt your back because those are the two things that hold on for dear life if I struggle with this. So again, I'm going to stand on one foot. I'm going to rotate as far as I can to the right. Woo! I'm going to rotate as far as I can to the left. I'm going to rotate as far as I can. Wow, I'm a hot mess with this. Rotate as far as I can to the right. Rotate as far as I can to the left. To the right. To the left. Now, did we see Alyssa got better at that? Yes, she did. Okay, my brain figured out how to motor plan that and I could manage it. So now for cross country, if that's part of my warm up, now when I go out and I try to run and my foot gets driven into all these crazy positions and my hip gets loaded and somebody cuts in front of me and I have to shift, guess what? My body knows how to manage it. I'm going to be faster to recover. I'm not going to get hurt. I'm going to have a better race. So now my last question is going to be, well, how much? How much can you? So running is an endurance thing, right? Like we're going to go run in a 5K, 15 minutes, 17 minutes, 25 minutes, 45 minutes. It depends. It's an endurance situation. I have to have enough endurance to manage that for 30 minutes. So if I can spend chunks of time, okay, if I'm doing this and my hip starts to get tired or my ankle starts to get tired, take a break. Come back to it later. Work on more and more time being spent managing one leg compared to the other leg, and can you make both legs even? Because what will happen when you're running is your body will default to whatever the worst leg is. So we saw when I went on my right, I could do a lot better, okay? If I could just be a right-legged runner, I'd be set. My left was not as good. So when I run, running is a single leg activity. When I land on that left side, I'm only going to be able to stride out and stabilize as well as that left side can do. So now I'm going to be defaulting to my sad little left side instead of my left side living up to my right side because your body's going to try to protect that weaker, tighter side. So the goal is symmetry, the goal is strength, the goal is mobility. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy running.